Hey y'all, I just got something really cool in the mail. Check this out. Now, you're like, Zaya, this is a drone channel. We fly drones, we do drone things. Why are you showing us this cute little gift bag? Well, I'll tell you. Not only is this gift bag beautiful, not only does it have fucking unicorn stickers, not only does it have candy, this is how the unicorn frame from Zoe FPV comes, and it is glorious. I'm going to show you how to put it together.
Hey folks, Zaya from the future here. I just wanted to ask you to please watch until the end of the video before starting to do the assembly on this frame if you are getting it. There are just a couple little things that I forgot. It's not going to mess you up too bad. Just please watch until the end of the video. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I have all of these parts together, and we are basically going to start from the top, make our way to the legs, and the only thing you're going to need to put together the vast majority of this frame, short of mounting the camera and your board and everything, is just going to be this 2mm hex driver. So we are going to start with the top rails, and take our top rails. We're going to take the top plate. It is symmetrical and reversible, which is super awesome, which is basically most of these things, either they're very obviously directional or it doesn't matter, and that's great. We're going to start with this. We're just going to assemble it so we have a good reference point. This is front, this is back, this is top, this is bottom, so we can start building off of that. We will also do the same for the bottom. So we're going to do bottom, we're going to do the bottom plates, and we are going to throw this guy on there. Oh, see, now I have those matched around. So make sure that you have the flat sides go in the same direction on each of the rails. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Okay. There we go. Super easy. Bottoms, flat sides are going to the bottom. Pretty easy. Cool. That's our bottom. This is our top. It goes on like that. Now, there's all this space in here. Well, that's why she included standoffs. So, we're going to need 4 of these short standoffs. And we are going to need 4 of these, I believe they're 16mm bolts. And we are going to grab 2 of these. And actually, you know what? Let's just get these guys with a little bit of thread locker on each one. Just a little bit. Nothing fancy. We just want it to stay in place when we've got it all the way in there. Cool. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, we have some directionality. We have the flat side down. We know our front and back. We are going to start with the back. These guys, you can feel free to take that off for now. We're going to keep this down so we have the directions. We know which way's up, which way's down. And we can start with this. I'm going to just thread it. You can put your finger on the back here to make sure that you can feel it just as it starts to come through. Like that. Same thing with the other side. Just gonna grab one of these. Go on here. Whoop. Hey there. Just start threading this. Connect actually do this by hand. Though, of course, when I try to do that, it's gonna fall apart. Keep in mind, I did have to do just a teeny tiny bit of filing on this back plate actually, that holds the VTX antenna in place. But other than that, everything fit together pretty darn smoothly, but really snugly. So keep that in mind. You're going to probably have to just ease it into place. Just a lot of wiggling, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. Remember, we started with the back. So the back is here. It's away from the horns. I'm going to just fit it in here. We are going to just turn these so that way we have something, oh, for Pete's sake, to start it with. Make sure those guys stays together. There we go. All right. So what we are looking for is to get this guy in between. You want to line up the hole for this, and you can kind of screw this in just a little bit, just so it starts holding that carbon in place. Same thing with this side. I'm sure there's better ways to do this, but this is the way that I do it, and that's okay. It's not perfect, because I'm not perfect. And that's okay. I make imperfect stuff, but you know what? It works out all right, and I still like it. So, don't throw standoffs around. I'm going to put that standoff back in between the top rails, back here. Not sure if you can see that. And then I'm going to finish this off. Screw this in. Nice thing about Loctite is that you can leave it off here and it's not going to cure until it's put into more or less anaerobic environment, like it's going to, in between the screws, in threads of screws. Wow, I can't speak today. So there we go. We've made ourselves a nice little hinge. Again, we have our top and our front and our back. Now it rears up, right? Unicorns rear up on their back legs. Cool. Easy peasy. Now, let's hold off on the front. We are going to start with the bottom. We can actually lay this out flat like this. So now that we know that we have this upside down, it's going to stay upside down. Oh, see, we gotta make sure these hooves go out, flat side out. It's a nice thing with this, it's consistent. Flat side out, flat side down. Pretty darn simple to get this right. And easy to check to make sure you have things in the right configuration. So flat side of the hoof out. Just fitting them through here. Flat side of the hoof, whoop, out. And then, now that we more or less have these all together, woot, all right, we're going to take our arm plate, not throw it. This is our little arm plate slash brace. We're just gonna roughly line it up there. We can take our longest bolts. These are our exterior standoffs. Oops. Let's make sure that they all go into a hole. They should fit in pretty easily, but I noticed they were pretty tight holes. That's what he said. There we go. Sweet. Cool. Now, flip it back over, and we're going to put on the top one. And I would recommend using your hex driver to just kind of start guiding these in. This will help provide a little bit of movement to make sure these holes all line up. Sweet. Okie dokie. So, now that we have all these together, we can kind of gently just press down. We can do the last little bit with the actual hex driver. You should slide through, but they are pretty darn tight, which is great. We don't want any wobble on there. We don't want any slop. We don't want any wiggle. Okay. I have my roommate squealing in the background at her dog. It's gonna be great in the post-production. Y'all are gonna hear this. Okay. All right, now that we have it all together, like that, we have our standoffs. We can start with, or not our standoffs, you know what I mean. These are our stack bolts. We can throw some standoffs on there. It's not really necessary right now. It's gonna stay together because that is how tightly this is built. Which is pretty darn cool. All right, we're going to also set up the front. The front, you might want to hold off, actually, but basically, you're just going to do the same thing as you did with the back. You're going to put these guys in. You're going to start the standoff just a little bit, pull it all the way back. Same thing on the other side. Start the standoff. Rad. Pull all the way back. So that way, this just fits down in here. Super, super simple. This is a very quick build frame. This thing's really sturdy. These are like 6 mil thick arms. And honestly, this thing's pretty darn, it's actually surprisingly light for how chunky it is. I like it. Yeah, so the other thing is that she includes a bunch of other hardware, including, very thoughtfully, she includes some camera screws. She includes extra standoffs for your stack. She includes top screws for your standoff, some lock nuts, a bunch of washers just for spacing things, and yeah, it's pretty great. I can't really complain. This whole thing went together really simple, and I'm excited to swap this out and get all of my hardware moved over onto here. So it's the next day, and they've actually missed a few things as I was going through the assembly process and realized that's just not going to work. So the bottom here, I was watching Zoe's build video, and she included these washers underneath here specifically to help kind of dissipate energy between the arm plate here and the bottom rail. I believe she also did that on top, but I'm not 100% sure, though it would make sense since they are level, so that might be something I go back in and add. The other thing was adding in these extra bolts here in the center. Those are the slightly shorter stack ones, and those get capped off with nylon lock nuts. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I missed on that. And then I also missed that this only really accommodates micro cameras, which is kind of a bummer because I only have full-size cameras. So I'm gonna have to order me some. Let's see what else. There's a whole thing on how to mount these if you've built a quad before, which hopefully you have. You've already struggled with trying to properly line up everything, get everything properly spaced on your stack, and this is no exception. But one tip she did give was that if you're using a gummied stack, using gummies like this on your ESC and flight controller, that you would typically want to do the standoffs here on the bottom, then throw, say, your ESC on that, then the next level of standoffs kind of bridge between that and then the top bolts or top screws that she includes. These little guys, these are 3mm. I found that 5mm worked better for me for the Hyperlight stack that I'm currently using, but your results may vary. So let's go over some of the features of this frame. So it's a little bit unusual with the unicorn, is that the horns here are really for mounting a camera up here. So if you've seen pictures of it, you already know this is what it's going to be looking like, but just wanted to give a heads up. That's what these holes are for. These guys on the side are for your battery straps. These are a little bit small for, like, say, like the full thick Kevlar ones, but for most other ones I think they're going to be fine. And you have this nice little back plate, and this is for something like throwing your VTX antenna through. So I think that is it. My phone's probably going to overheat, so I'm going to wrap this up. Head over to outcastdroneworks.com to pick this up, and go over to Zoe FPV and subscribe to her. She's a lovely human. I'm really lucky to have her as my sponsor and friend. Thank you. Take care.